Welcome to yoga. I have been doing a very special challenge. We've been trying to do 3,000 burpees in 30 days, so that's 100 burpees a day. So I need to give a little extra love to my shoulders and my chest today, so that's what today's practice is going to be focused on. I definitely encourage you to try that challenge. It's actually easier than you might expect. You can see I just finished. It's great. It only takes about 20 minutes, maybe 25, even if you're a beginner. So definitely check it out, try it out. Okay, so today we're going to start standing. So starting at the front of your mat, go ahead and roll the shoulders back, open up the heart, and extend the fingertips down to the ground. As you reach the fingertips towards the ground, lift the head just a little bit towards the sky, trying to create length in opposite directions. And we're going to stay here for several breaths, so plenty of time to scan the body. Starting from the feet, make sure that your weight is equal on all four corners of your feet. So maybe give yourself a little shift forward and back, side to side, just so that you can find that center. And then make sure you're not gripping with the toes. They don't need to be lifted up, but we also are not trying to grip the ground with the toes. So keep them relaxed. From there, start to lift away from the ground. So drawing the shins up towards the knees, drawing the thighs up towards the hips. The belly button scoops in towards the spine and then up under the rib cage. Continue to lengthen through the thoracic spine, letting the shoulder blades go down the back so that you're not hunched over, keeping the natural curve of the spine. Tilting the chin towards the ground ever so slightly and then pushing your ears back, trying to keep the ears right on top of the shoulders and lifting with the crown of the head. 3 more breaths here. Just a strong mountain pose. Feeling the openness in your heart, even while you're just standing there. Never rush through Tadasana. Always really find purpose with mountain, because this is what you do every day. Every time you stand up, every time you go for a walk, this exaggerated posture is how you want to carry yourself. And the more you focus on it in practice, the more natural it will start to feel in your everyday life. One more breath. Go ahead and bring your hands to your heart center. Open your eyes if they're closed. And we're going to do a little bit of an exaggerated movement with the arms. So as you inhale up, reach the hands a little bit behind you, opening the heart, maybe coming in to the smallest of back bends, and then exhaling back to heart center. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Squeeze the belly button to the spine. Draw the bottom of the ribs back down. Inhale. And this time on the exhale, we're going to fold forward into forward bend. Stay here and bend your knees slightly if you need to.
yourself rocks side to side. Or maybe keep the hands on the ground and play with the weight front and back. Center yourself back on all four corners of the feet. And then we're going to inhale up. Exaggeration. Reaching with the fingertips first. Small back bend. And then hands to your heart center. Inhale. Exhale, follow the hands to the ground. And then this time you're going to soften one knee and lift up the opposite hand for a little twist, opening up the heart, maybe looking past the thumb. If that's uncomfortable in your neck, you can always bring the gaze to the ground. Release, extending both legs and then opposite knee, reaching up. Reach as much as you can with those fingertips, contracting the back muscles and opening the heart and the chest. Release back down. Inhale, exaggerate that swan dive up, leading with the fingertips if you can. Small back bend, hands to your heart. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, one hand. And release on the exhale. Opposite hand. Exhale, release. Inhale, flat back. Exhale to the ground, forward fold. And inhale, step to plank. Oh, hello. Don't usually get a visitor from him. In plank, you can adjust and come onto your elbows if you need to. We're going to be here for a moment or two. I want you to feel the pressure in the toes. And give yourself maybe a little rock slightly forward, more challenging in the shoulders, and then back, stretching out the toes a little bit, and building some heat in the core and in the shoulders. If we're going to really, really stretch out the shoulders, we want to make sure they're nice and warm. This time as you shift forward, gently bring yourself to the ground and inhale up, cobra pose. Exhale, release. Go ahead and bring the hands wide and inhale up again. Exhale. Now play with your cobra. Maybe you lead with one shoulder and then the other, feeling the stretch on the non-leading shoulder. One more time, come up and center. Maybe look towards the sky and release. Hands right next to your ribs. Come up to a push-up first, and then down dog. So for our first down dog, we're going to take our time, walking out the heels if that feels good, or maybe playing with the toes. Stretching out the toes and then sinking the heels to the ground. Whatever works for you, just make sure that you're moving with your breath. So these are not quick movements. Inhaling one heel or to the toes, exhaling the other. So everyone go ahead and release the heels towards the ground. Take one more inhale. Exhale, gently step forward, forward fold. Inhaling, flat back. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise all the way up, leading with the fingers, so you're really opening the chest, exaggerating. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale. Exhale, follow prayer down to the ground. And then inhale, we're going to go to one side. Almost skipped it. So today's really not about twists, but I do like this to open up the heart. Come back to center, release, and then inhale. Now we'll do a half lift. Exhale, fold, and you can either step to plank or jump to chaturanga. Inhaling, back bend of your choice. Exhale, push back, down dog. And we'll stay here for a few breaths. On your next inhale, rise up onto the toes, and exhale, jump or step the feet forward, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, squeeze the belly button to your spine, pushing out all the air. Inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale, one side, reach with the fingertips. I can tell I'm gonna try to skip that all day today. Release, opposite side. I'll do my best to remember it. Release, and then inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold, and jump or step through your vinyasa. This time on the inhale, pick up one foot, keeping the hips square to the ground. And on your exhale, you're going to bring the knee to the outside edge, as though you're going to tap those knees to the ground. Inhale, back up. We'll do that one more time. So it's going to look very similar to eagle legs. Just tapping, warming up the core. Inhale, back up. This time, exhale. Bring that foot through. Back heel to the ground. Warrior one. In your warrior one, take a few moments to think about your alignment. If this back hip is really tense and you don't have a lot of flexibility, you can walk the foot farther out to the outside edge of the mat. If you do have the flexibility, sink deep and maybe connect the palms. Whatever you're doing in warrior one, make sure you're not dumping into the lower back. Abs are still strong. Weight is still in all four corners of the feet. On your next exhale, release and big arm circles to the ground. Inhaling to plank, and then exhale through your vinyasa. Opposite foot comes up. I will say one of the benefits of doing the burpees challenge is chaturanga is a breeze now. When you're ready on an exhale, floating knee comes to the outside of the standing knee, almost tapping it to the ground. Inhale, back up. Once again, shifting forward, warming up the core and the shoulders. Extend back up. Exhale, bring the foot all the way through. Back heel to the ground. Come up, warrior one. So again, taking a few breaths, finding alignment, maybe shifting. This hip is probably different than the first one. And then maybe bring the gaze to the sky. Reaching lots of energy out through those fingertips. On your next breath, open up the arms, hand roll down, inhaling to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhaling, back bend of your choice. Then squeezing with the abs to shift to down dog. 3 breaths here. On the next inhale, rise up onto the toes, and exhale, jump or step the feet forward. Inhaling, flat back. Exhale, release. Inhale, big heart opener coming up towards the sky, small back bend. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale. Small back bend, and then shifting the weight forward. Bending one knee, opposite hand towards the sky. Nailed it that time. Release, and opposite knee. Release, and inhale, straight legs, flat back. Exhale, forward fold, and jump or step to plank. Flowing through chaturanga, up dog, and then down dog. Inhale, one foot comes up, hip stays square. Exhale, we're gonna hook the knee around and tap it in, coming forward. Inhale, split down dog. Exhale, tap. Inhale, split down dog. Exhale, bring that foot all the way through. Starting with warrior one. So this time, release the hands behind you and interlock the fingers. Go ahead and release the pointer fingers again. And we're gonna go into a small back bend, reaching the pointer fingers down the back thigh, and continuing to shift into that front leg. Breathe and open up the chest. Come back to center, keeping the hands interlocked, and roll yourself forward, allowing the hands to maybe shift over the shoulders towards the front of the mat. Depends on your flexibility. The focus really should be first on getting the palms together before you start to lift the hands over the head. So if you need to come here instead, that's perfectly fine. Continue to roll the shoulders back, opening the heart without some of the intensity by having the arms extended. Roll yourself back up to upright, release the hands, and on an exhale, flow down and through your chaturanga. Opposite foot comes up, lift high with the heel, hip stays square, exhale, shift forward, tap the knee, extend. Exhale one more time, shift forward, tap the knee, and extend. Exhale, bring the foot all the way through this time, starting with warrior one first. When you're ready, release the hands behind, interlock with the opposite thumb on top, and extend the pointer fingers, reaching the fingertips down the back thigh. Continue to lift the sternum, the heart center towards the sky, so you're not collapsing into the lower back. Come back to center, and then fold forward, so that your shoulder is right on the inside of the knee. When we do that, we have a tendency to let our hips move towards the side of the mat. Try to keep the hips square, and just float next to the knee. Roll yourself back up to upright first, releasing the hands, warrior one, and then rolling them down, big arm circle, and flowing through chaturanga. Up dog or cobra. And then down dog. 3 breaths here. On the inhale, rise up onto the toes, and exhale, jump or step the feet forward. Inhaling, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Small back bend, hands to your heart center. Inhale. Exhale, hinge at the hips and fold forward. Inhaling, flat back. You might notice you don't need the bend in the knee anymore. Release. And open up the other side. Continue to bend the knee if you need to in order to give yourself a little bit more space. Release. Inhale, flat back. Exhale. Fold and jump or step to plank, chaturanga. Up dog, and then down dog. When you're ready, pick up one foot on the inhale. Exhale, shift your weight forward. Baby little knee tap. One more time. And inhale back to split down dog. Exhale, bring the foot through. Warrior 1. This time we're going to open up the arms into cactus arms and lean the arms back. Try to hold the elbows as though they were going to touch behind the back. And come back to a neutral spine. And then one elbow on top of the other, coming into eagle. So once you're in eagle, I want you to first lift the fingers as high as you can towards the sky. Maybe a little back bend, but not too much. The focus here is on stretching the shoulders. Keep the fingers lifting up and extend the front leg. And then keep the length as you fold forward, trying to reach the elbows towards the middle of your shin. Lots of length in the spine. Now that standing front leg should be nice and strong. Squeeze with the quad to protect your kneecap. And if you just don't have the strength for that yet, either back off so there's not so much tension or intensity, or grab your blocks on either side of the foot. Now, if you are in pyramid, go ahead and bend to the knee and scoop yourself back up. Warrior 1, releasing the hands and reaching to the sky. On the exhale, flow down through your vinyasa. Opposite foot lifts. Exhale, shift forward, tap the knee to the ground, and kick it back. One more time, shifting forward, and then kicking it back. Exhale, bring the foot all the way through, back heel to the ground, warrior 1. So again, on this side, opening up the arms into cactus arms first, continuing to sink into that front leg. We're not straightening the leg yet. Feel the heart and lungs as you expand with the inhale, and then exhale, opposite arm on top. So just like before, you're continuing to sink into the front leg and lift the fingertips towards the sky. Maybe a little bit of a back bend, but the focus is not on the back bend, the focus is on the shoulders.
Go ahead and extend the front leg, keep that leg strong, and shift from the hips, folding forward, reaching the elbows towards the shin as much as you can. One more breath. And then soften that knee and scoop yourself back up to warrior one. Inhale. Exhale, open the shoulders and roll yourself down, flowing through your vinyasa. Holding in down dog for 3 breaths. On the next inhale, reaching up onto the toes, and exhale, jump or step forward. Inhale, flat back, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach with the fingertips first, opening the heart, small back bend. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale. Exhale, following the prayer down. Inhaling, opening one side. Exhale, center. Bent knee or 2 straight legs, whatever works for you. Releasing. Inhale, flat back. And then exhale, jump or step. Flowing through your vinyasa. Inhale, one foot comes up. Exhale, shifting forward, tap. And inhale back to split down dog. One more time on this side. Feel the core engaging. Inhale back, and then bring that foot through. Starting with warrior one. So this time we are going to transition to a wide-legged forward fold. So as you extend the front leg, I want you to try to come up onto the heel and then roll to the side of your mat. Feet nice and wide, slightly pigeon-toed. Go ahead and bring the hands first to the hips, pulling the elbows back as though the elbows were going to kiss behind you, and then fold forward. Continue to pull the elbows back, draw the shoulders away from the ears. On your next inhale, rise back up. Release the hands out, thumbs towards the back of your mat, small back bend, opening up the heart, and then come back to center and bring the hands behind, this time coming into reverse prayer. Inhale, exhale, hinge forward. Try to press the palms together. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. Legs are strong, squeezing with the inner thighs as though you are trying to slide the feet together. One more breath. And rise back up. Release the hands one more time. Thumbs point back, open up the heart. And then bring the hands to your heart. Come up onto the heel and shift back to warrior one. Now, for me, I get a little too much space, so I'm gonna have to bring my feet a little closer together in order to shift into warrior one. One more breath. And exhale, release. Inhaling to plank. And then flowing through your vinyasa. Opposite foot comes up. Exhale, shift it forward, tapping the knee, engaging the core. I can really feel it in my oblique on that side. Inhale. Exhale one more time. Inhale. Exhale, bring that foot through. Starting with warrior one. Now when you're ready, again, extend the front leg, come up onto the heel, and then shift to the other edge of the mat. Maybe bring the feet wider if you need to, hands out to the sides. Inhale, exhale, fold, hands stay wide, and grasp the outside edges of the feet, or maybe the big toes. Engage the arms, pulling the elbows to the sky, keeping the shoulders away from the ears, trying to draw the crown of the head towards the mat. Release the hands and rise back up. Again, thumbs point towards the back of your mat, opening up the heart, small back bend. Come back to center. Inhale and exhale. We're gonna fold one more time. But this time you're gonna bring the hands underneath the body. Now, if you have the flexibility, bring the crown of the head towards the mat and come into a tripod headstand. I cannot do a headstand without a little extra cushion for my head, so I will be skipping that today. I don't have anything that I can use. So instead, I'm going to reach the hands under the legs as much as possible, still trying to draw the crown of the head towards the mat. Now if you're having a hard time getting the crown of your head to touch, come back, walk your feet out just a little bit more, and voila, now it touches. And ultimately we would like to have the flexibility in our hamstrings to do it with the feet a little bit closer together, but you need to listen to your body and maybe do what it's telling you to do. If you're in a headstand, please come back down nice and slow, control it on the way down. And then everyone bring your hands back to center, lift up, and inhale up. Palms slip, thumbs point back, small back bend, and then come back, heart center, front leg comes up onto the heel, toes point, and if you need to, adjust so that you can come back to warrior one. Shorten your stance a little bit, maybe bring that back foot wide. On the exhale, roll down. Inhaling to plank, and then exhale, floating through your vinyasa. 3 breaths in down dog. Reach through the tailbone. Lots of length in the shoulders. On the next inhale, rising up onto the toes and jump or step the feet forward, forward fold, half lift, and then release again, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, and exhale, hands to your heart center. So if you're like me and you have limited space, go ahead and come towards the center of your mat. We're going to go into traditional eagle. We've been warming up for it. So starting with the hands, big inhale. One elbow on top of the other, wrapping the wrists. If you can't wrap your wrists, just keep the backs of the wrists together. A Ideally, palms connect. And then inhale, one foot comes high. Exhale, sink back as though you're going into chair pose. And then wrap the foot into a bind. Now, if you can't hook the toes around the ankle or the calf, you can always use that toe on the ground. Create kind of a tripod to help you balance. The more you sink into the standing hip, the easier it will be to go ahead and hook the toes and create that bind. From here, scoop the belly and try to reach the elbows past the knees. Come back up. Whoop. Try to keep your balance. And then release the leg and kick it back, coming into warrior three. Moving nice and slow, trying to keep your balance. It's okay if you fall. In warrior three, go ahead and release the hands. Ooh, I'm struggling on that side. Open up the arms, airplane arms, and then roll open into half moon. Release the floating hand, and then release the floating foot, and you find forward fold. You can rest here for a few moments, giving the sway to the body, or maybe walking out the legs. Release the hands back down to the ground. And this time we're going to roll up. So a nice curve in the back, abs nice and tight to support the spine as you roll up. And then inhale, exhale, opposite arm on top. On your next inhale, bring the opposite leg high, and then exhale, sink back and hook the toes, eagle pose. When you're ready, engage the abs and lean with the elbows, reaching the elbows beyond the knee if you can. Come back up to upright, release the leg, and kick it back, warrior three. Much stronger on this side for whatever reason. Open the arms, airplane arms, and then roll down into half moon. Maybe bring the gaze to the sky to challenge your balance. Nice open heart. Release the hand, release the foot, and then again, rest. So if you like, one of the things that I've noticed with the burpees is it's definitely challenging on your wrist. So maybe this time, hook the hands underneath the feet, palms up, pressing the backs of the wrists into the ground, wiggling the toes, giving your wrists a little massage. Release the hands back out, and with the hands towards the front of the mat, just gently step back to down dog. Now I want you to think about where the arms and the shoulders are, how open that feels, and then just soften the knees to the ground and walk the fingers back out into puppy dog, exaggerating that same feeling as down dog. Walk your hands back in, coming to tabletop. And pick up one hand, just like we did the twist during flow. Reach that hand to the sky, as much as possible. It's much more challenging here because you don't have the flexibility to bend the knee, or at least it is for me. Take that same hand and hook it underneath your other arm, coming into a shoulder stretch. So you can keep the arm that's not being stretched, you can keep it tented for support, or you can extend it out, or you can come into a prayer twist. Whichever version you're in, go ahead and release and come back up onto all fours. Opposite side, lifting the hand first, reaching towards the sky, really strengthening the back muscles, trying to pull the shoulder blade onto the back, and then bringing that hand through. Coming to rest on the shoulder and a little bit of weight on the side of the head. Maybe you keep the hand for support, maybe you extend. And I don't think I have it on this side, but we'll see. Maybe come into the prayer twist. Yeah, definitely not comfortable for me on that side, so I'm going to skip it. But you have that option if that feels good for you. Go ahead and come back up onto all fours. Let's take a cat-cow stretch here. And then walk the knees back just a little bit and walk the hands forward once again, coming into that puppy dog pose. If you want more, you can always put your hands on blocks, which will give you a little bit more space to open up the shoulders and the chest. Go ahead and start to walk the hands back and shift your weight forward. You can just do plank on your knees and gently come to the ground. So we're going to start with some chest openers. So bringing one hand so that it is perpendicular with the body, and then other hand tense and gently roll yourself onto that shoulder. So it's a really, really intense heart opener and chest stretch. Now if you want more, bring that top leg and open up the knee so that the knee is pointed towards the sky. If you still want more, maybe take both knees towards the sky. And then you can always take that free hand and float it back behind you. If you can interlock the fingers, that is amazing, more power to you. I cannot, so I just let it float. That's fine. This is more than enough for me. Hi, buddy. You're so cute. You want to show off your flexibility? You're a pretty flexible dude. Gently release one leg, and then roll yourself back to center. And take that arm that was just extended and bring it underneath the body. Maybe you have a kitty belly to rub. And then rest forward. So now you're stretching out the back part of the shoulder. We did the chest opener, now we're stretching the shoulder. Oh yes, are you helping? You're so helpful. Go ahead and release the tension on that shoulder and tee up opposite arm. Roll yourself over onto that shoulder, tenting your arms for support. Take at least a breath before you move on.
Check in, and if you still want more, pick up one knee. Again, take a breath, ease into it. Take some time to check in with your body and see what you need next. And if you can, maybe both knees. And if you still want more, the free hand can float behind. This is really, really intense. It's a lot, so maybe it's too much for you. You do not need to take it to this extreme. Release the floating hand back down to support yourself. Release one leg. And then the other, and gently roll back onto your stomach. Taking that arm that was just extended and tucking it underneath. And then releasing your head to the ground. Nothing makes me happier than a little purr during my yoga. Oh, and cat fur all over my sweaty face. It's really helpful. Go ahead and release. Coming back up onto all fours. And then we're gonna go into camel. So, if you need the extra cushion on your knees, roll up your mat, tuck your toes. You don't have to tuck your toes, you can keep them flat. I like to tuck my toes, it's a little extra stretch on the back of my feet. So we're gonna go ahead and rise up so that your hips are right on top of your knees. Hands come to your hips. And so level ones, go ahead and just draw the hands down the back of the thighs, elbows towards the ground, deep back bend, really big heart opener. If you want more, reach one hand at a time to the heels, making sure that when you do so, you don't shift your hips back. The hips continue to stay right on top of the knees, as though there was a wall there and you're pressing into the wall. To come out of it, one hand at a time, back to the hips, untuck the toes, and release your mat. Yes, you have to move, I'm sorry. Go ahead and rock over the ankles and come back to a seated position. We're going to do just a little bit of core work and a couple of back bends, and then we'll be done for the day. So shift the weight back so that you're in boat pose. You can keep the hands right around your knees or the backs of the thighs. Or if you'd like to challenge yourself, bring the feet off the ground. If you want more, straight legs. And if you still want more, straight arms. We're going to hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release and gently rock back a few times. 2, 3, 4 times. Whatever works for you, trying to maintain your balance so you're not touching with the toes. You're using your abs to stay balanced. So come back up to upright and find whichever variation of boat you'd like to hold. We're going to hold this one a little bit longer. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the knees to the chest, and a couple more rocks. Hollowing out as you roll down, squeezing with the core, That'll help you create that C shape in order to roll back up. Last time, coming into whichever variation of boat you'd like, and we're gonna hold it a little longer. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and roll a few times. On this next roll, gently roll down with the intention of staying on the ground. Perfect. Release the feet to the ground, knees to the sky, and on an exhale, tuck the tailbone so that you're squeezing the belly button towards the spine and just the tailbone's coming up off the ground. Inhale, arch the back up off the ground, tailbone connects. One more time, exhale. Inhale. Make it a little bit bigger. Exhale, coming up to bridge and rounding down. Inhale, arch. Exhale, rounding up to bridge. Exhale, down. And inhale, arch. So you can continue doing that, working with bridge, maybe adding the interlace underneath the body. So it'll be a little slower. Interlace, release back down, inhale, arch, exhale, back up, interlace. So notice that you're moving with the breath. So when you exhale, you're squeezing the air out with your abs. Your abs are also contracting and you're curving your back. When the back is arched and the abs are not engaged, that's when you inhale. So exhale, we're gonna curve down. Inhale, arch. Now, again, you can keep doing that, or you can go ahead and just come up into wheel pose. We're only gonna be here for one wheel pose. So we're gonna stay for 5 breaths. Make sure that your toes are not pointed out. You should be just a tiny bit pigeon-toed. Really opening up the hips towards the sky. One more breath. Avoid the animals on the way down if you can.
Excuse me, can you please move?
Thank you. Yes, you're very helpful. And then once you're on the ground, everyone go ahead and give a big windshield wiper with the legs. So the feet are wide to the edges of the mat, and the knees go side to side. Bring the knees towards the sky and lift the feet up off the ground. We're going to drop the knees to one side, keeping the opposite shoulder on the ground. So the focus on this particular twist is the openness of the chest and the shoulder of that back arm. You can bring your gaze to that side as well. If you would like a more intense twist and the shoulder does not come up off the ground, feel free to extend the legs and maybe grab hold of the big toes. If you're having trouble keeping the shoulder on the ground, every time you exhale, I want you to think about squeezing with the belly button and just a small rotation to pull the belly button towards the center and towards the sky. The more you engage the core, the easier it will be to get into these twists. Release your hold on the toes, bend the knees, and on an exhale, come back to center. Opposite side.
giving yourself enough room, dropping the knees, making sure that the shoulder stays on the ground, bringing the gaze to that open arm. And then if the shoulder is connected and you would like a little bit more, extending the legs, grabbing the big toes. Release the head back to center, knees soften, and on an exhale, use the core to bring the knees back to center. And then give yourself one big hug.
Thank you for doing yoga. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Maybe the forehead touches the knees.
Just a moment of gratitude for yourself. And then release and extend right into Shavasana. Take a few breaths, rock side to side, get all your wiggles out, and then settle in. Let go of the breath. Breathe at your own comfortable pace. Let go of the body. Let everything flop open and relax. One thing that we have a very difficult time doing is letting our face relax. So consciously release the jaw. Release any tension around the eyes and the temples. Let the face go slack. Go ahead and start to reawaken the body. Wiggle the fingers and the toes, maybe a few ankle and wrist circles. Pick up the knees and the hands towards the sky, and then windshield wiper the hips and the elbows opposite directions. From here, you can roll over onto one side, or you can just slowly curl yourself up to a comfortable seated position.
Yes, I hear you.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope it feels really good. Even if you're not doing the burpees challenge, if you just are sitting hunched at your desk and you need a good heart opener, if you do the burpees challenge, I would very much like to hear what you think of it, and your feedback if you think that was a good suggestion or not. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.